I'm Leitya, and welcome back to the EaglePod, the podcast where we uncover the inspiring stories of Albanians who conquer challenges and have soared to new heights. I'm your host, Lorena, and today I have the pleasure of welcoming Aron Tocaj, president and founder of SAPS, and Rei Rama, vice president. Could you guys introduce yourself and share a little bit about your background, as well as a fun fact that no one knows about you?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Aron. I was born in Tirana, Albania,
Mhm.
and I lived there until I was 13 years old. And then my whole family immigrated here in 2016. So we moved to Cleveland, Ohio, because that's where my family had a few relatives. So yeah, I've been in the United States for 8 years now, and I'm currently a junior at Johns Hopkins University. I'm on the pre-med track, so planning on pursuing medical school after. So that's a bit about my background and how like sort of I moved here and where I'm right now. And a fun fact that not a lot of people know about me is that I've been playing guitar for the past 4 years now. I started during COVID and I taught myself how to play just watching YouTube videos and just like a way to calm down after studying. It's been very nice to have that as a hobby.
Right?
Yeah, I was born in Fier, and like Aaron, my family moved here in the States a couple 8 years ago now. We moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, because my dad had one of his friends who lived here. Then he helped settle us in the beginning. I'm also on the pre-med track. I graduated from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte with a Bachelor's of Science in Biology. I also completed the honors program, and currently I'm on my gap year working as a medical assistant to gain a little more clinical experience before I apply this cycle. And a fun fact about me that not a lot of people know about is that I was obsessed with card tricks. In high school, I used to do a lot of card tricks, like magic tricks. I also went to an event show, like a talent show that they had in high school, where I did a few card tricks. So doing card tricks is one of my passions, and it's something that not a lot of people know about.
I'm curious, Ray. What was your favorite card trick?
One of my favorite routines is called the three card Monty. I don't know if you guys have heard about the
I've
game.
I've not heard of
So
it now.
so the game goes like there's three cards, two of them are black, for example, and the other one is red. And the game is that you shuffle the cards to try to hide the red card, and then you guess where the red card is. But I put a little twist on it, where the card turns from an ace of hearts, for example, to like a four of spades. So things like that.
Very cool. Very cool.
What's your favorite song to play on the guitar, Aaron?
My favorite song to play. So my dad has been a huge influence on my music taste. And my dad likes to listen to a lot of 80s and 90s rock. It's like the classic music back at that time.
Yeah.
So I was introduced to Pink Floyd when I was, I think in 2018, so like when I was around 15 years old. And like listening to Pink Floyd in the beginning was very different from like what we're used to. It's like the pop music today, like the modern, it's like the more modern music.
Yeah.
And I started listening to Pink Floyd and I fell in love with the style of their music and the solos as well in those songs. So I guess my favorite song would be "Comfortably Numb" from Pink Floyd. I don't think a lot of people our age have heard of this song because they're just like not used to listening to the 80s and 90s music, but it's been a huge influence on the whole Pink Floyd music. So that's my favorite to play.
So I've included a 16-second audio clip of Aaron playing an amazing guitar solo to Purple Rain.
Awesome. Yeah. So you guys both mentioned you were born in Albania, and how do you like it here compared to Albania, and how has the adjustment been for you too?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as I said in the beginning, I moved here when I was 13 years old. So I spent most of my life
Yeah.
in Albania. I guess life back there was very different in terms of opportunities and culture in general. So we were used to like living close to everything, like living in downtown Tirana, and everything was close. Like the school was like a 5 minute walk from home. Like all my friends used to live like 5 minute walk distance as well. Just like the general like culture back there is very different from here. And I would say also another very different aspect of the two countries is the education system. So I feel like in Albania, the middle school and high school is much tougher than it is here. I used to struggle a lot more back in Albania before I moved here. So I feel like there's also like a huge adjustment for me, just like trying to fit the new or like having all the courses in a new language and just trying to adapt to that. So that was one of the main challenges, and also having all the courses in a new language, of course, is a bit tough for all new immigrants in the United States.
Yeah.
So I feel like the whole first year was a bit of trial and error, just trying to adapt to that. But I think that it's been a bit successful so far. Of course, like everyone goes through like, their hardships, and I feel like Ray might have a similar story to that. But that's been sort of my main and what I saw as the main difference between the two cultures.
Right.
Yeah, I want to add on to what Aaron said. Similarly, I found the same things. The education system in Albania is more set. I was in a trajectory to go to medical school over there as well. Because when you finish, we call it Shkollën e Mesme, they set you up to study certain courses that will allow you to apply to certain programs. So everyone is doing different classes in high school, but it's more like you have a set class and the teacher goes to your class. While in the States, it's more like there's a schedule and you're supposed to go find your classes. So I think that was like a big like surprise. Like when I was in the first, I was trying to figure out where all the classrooms were, like where I was supposed to go. And I feel like in 2015-ish, 2015, 2016, there was an adjustment where we transitioned from physical books to using Canvas a lot more. Even the exams, like I remember using Scantrons like for the first time, and I was like, why are all the exams multiple choice? Because growing up in Albania, we were used to doing exams that were free response. So I think that was like a big adjustment in the school system. As far as culturally, of course, like not having your support group as far as friends and family goes, that was a big adjustment in the beginning. But also food. Food is a lot different. Like a lot of processed foods. Like you get used to like you have to figure out, okay, where do you buy the cheese? Like because we as Albanians, like we cannot live without the cheese, without the meats. So it's like okay, we got to figure all these things out. So yeah, I wanted to say if I can conclude everything, the main differences between the countries were the education system, the friends and family that was something that I missed, and the food.
I think I just wanted to add to that with the education system in Albania. And now, like in this decade, we've seen the trend of a lot of young people trying to leave the country, and I feel like being in there just made it very uncertain at times. Like you didn't know what the future uh, was going to be like for you because like everyone was like either going to Italy or Germany for college, and then no one knew if they would get accepted. So it's like you're not really at home per se. You're like always like trying to aim for something else beyond Albania, and you didn't know where you're gonna go, and your family wasn't gonna come with you. So I feel like that made it sort of even more challenging. Like just like that idea, like being like going somewhere alone without your immediate family support. So when I was back in Albania, I was in the. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the German program that they have there. It's like 30 middle schools back there have like this program where they send like just like a bunch of students like enter this program, and then they go into high school where they take almost all the courses in German. And then if you pass the exam in the end, then you're like eligible to like apply to colleges in Germany, and you're almost like assured of an acceptance in Germany. So that's the program that I was in. But still, like in the end, like it would have been very uncertain in terms of like if you would have passed the exam or like if you had been accepted to one of the universities there. And in the end, like you still be alone, just going to Germany without like any friends or family. I feel like that's the main difference in terms of like, or one of the other differences in terms of like education between Albania and US. Because like here, you know that you're gonna do high school, and if you do good, you'll probably get accepted to a good college, and you have like a lot of options in terms of majors and like how you want the college experience to be. But back there, you don't have that freedom on choosing between colleges.
Yeah. No, I agree. Did you guys, when you moved here, did you guys feel like you had a good, nice, supportive group of like a strong Albanian community in the wherever you guys moved at at the time? Did you feel like you were supported, or were you just like lost and kind of had to figure your way around, or did you have some sort of guidance or help?
Mhm. Yeah, so in the beginning, as I said, my mom had her cousins and uncle in Cleveland. So we were like only like our immediate family was like 20 people in Cleveland. So we had the nice support. Um, we had that support in the beginning, which helped us a lot. So just get accustomed to like the new culture and to like get used to everything here. So that was a big help in the beginning. I don't know like what we have done without them, because it was like our first time in the United States. We would never been here before,
Yeah.
so we had no idea like how everything worked. So they were a big support for us. But then after like 2 years, so in 2018, almost all of them moved to Arizona. Like the whole like my mom's cousin and uncle. So like, we don't have anyone anymore. So like we were there in Cleveland because of them, and now after 2 years, they all left. But I guess still, like I feel like the beginning is the hardest part. Like we did have them there from the beginning. But now I think there's still like a large community of Albanians. Like my family has a lot of like Albanian friends back there, but not like any direct family
Yeah.
relatives. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the community in where I moved, which is North Carolina, is a lot smaller than the one in Cleveland for sure.
Mhm.
But I would say that when my parents first moved here, they had a lot of support from my dad's friend who helped us out with registering for school, figuring out the social security stuff, figuring out insurance, which is another term that is a little foreign in Albania. Like, hey, we need insurance for this, we need insurance for that. And so yeah, we had a little support, however, like not so much like family and relatives. Um, and my parents, I don't know about you guys, but they are like they're more willing to work, struggle by themselves and figure it out than to like accept handouts. So we never like wanted like government assistance or like even though we might have qualified for certain things in the beginning, my parents were like, no, like we'll work two jobs or we'll do this to make sure that you guys have everything. So I owe like I owe it to them, I would say. But as far as like a big Albanian community, I think it's lacking here in North Carolina, specifically in Charlotte.
I agree. I'm from the same place. I agree. But my family, so my dad was actually the first one who like escaped kind of communism. And so he had some relatives that lived in Michigan at the time. And then he went over, got my mom, brought her, and then they were like the first to kind of just like bring my grandparents and all my relatives from both of um their sides here. So all my grandparents and like my cousins, and they're all here just from them. So basically that's we brought our families over, and then we moved to Charlotte. And we're kind of alone again, but we always go back and visit them. And Michigan has a lot of like Albanian, like a big Albanian community, and like
Yeah.
places like that. So
And now it's time for a break with our fun fact of the day. Today's fun fact is that there are over 750,000 bunkers scattered around Albania, built to protect the country from foreign invaders. They serve as a dark reminder of their 50 years of isolation in the 20th century. And now back to our guest speaker.
okay. So Ray, you said you're currently working as a medical assistant and planning on applying to med school this cycle. And Aron, you're a junior at John Hopkins and on the pre-med track. What is a day in the life of Aron and Ray consist of?
I feel like it's very boring. I feel like even the listeners, like if we have college students listening to this, they would sort of understand our life in
Mhm.
terms of junior pre-med, you just going to classes, and if you finish classes, you have homework, you do homework, and then if it's exam season, you're just grinding it out, just studying. And then when you don't have a lot of classes, the next day you have to do research, volunteering, all of that. And then the weekends, like one day you have like rest, and then you have to like go back on the grind, like study again. So it's not like a lot of exciting things going on, but I try to sort of fit in my hobbies as well into my schedule. I try to make time for everything. So I like to work out. I've been working out since like freshman year since I started. I think it's been very beneficial for me, both in terms of like mental health and just like trying to do like do well in school. So I try to work out every day. Basically, I always make time for the guitar, like practice at least like half an hour a day. Um, yes, like it's basically it's not very exciting, just classes, do homework like 8, 9 p.m. and then just call it a day, just work out, play guitar, and then just go to sleep.
I when I was in high school, I took a psychology class, and something that struck me was this phrase that said that humans are creatures of habit. So when I was in college, that's what I try to do. I try to have a routine. To me, like a routine helps me accomplish things. So I would say now that I've graduated, it's a little more loose, my schedule. But when I was in college and taking classes, I would say it consisted of waking up in the morning, like driving to school, around like 6:30. I would try to do a little cardio, maybe 30 minutes, take a shower, take my classes. I avoided 8 a.m.s like they were the plague. I took one 8 a.m. class. It was a calculus class. And I was like, yep, no more. So no 8 a.m. classes for me. But yeah, I would take my classes, go to my research lab, conduct my research, go through a few meetings with research clubs, extracurricular clubs, and go home, study, do my homework, and then kind of wash and repeat essentially, rinse and repeat, I should say. Now that I'm working, my work takes most of my days. I work like full time as a medical assistant, which consists of like 12-hour shifts. So yeah, I'll wake up, go to work, go come home. But something that I want to stress, like Aaron said, that he always makes time for his hobbies. I try to do the same. Like one hobby that I picked up in the States is watching basketball and playing basketball, which is something that I always do. And my dad also is a basketball fan. Like I converted him to a basketball fan. So we watch games together, and I always try to make time to sit down with him and watch a basketball
I
game.
know, like when I was doing my master's, I was also working full time and I was taking classes full time. So my schedule consisted of like working from like 8 to 5 and then having classes from like 5:30 to 8:30 and then coming home at like 9:30. So after I did that for 2 years and after I graduated, now it's like a little bit more relaxed and I still wake up in the mornings to like get my workout and like do all that stuff. But I would say for me, it's like working out is like such a big stress reliever. So when I do that, it's like makes me like I feel better throughout the rest of the day. And my coffee, can't live without my coffee.
And it does help out, I think. I feel like working out does help you do well in school.
Yeah.
It gives you more, lets you be more focused, and it helps you out with your endurance.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like us as Albanians, like we need our caffeine every day to like go on with our days.
You guys drink coffee?
Yeah.
I don't. I used to when I go back home. It's like we have like a ritual in our families. Like we all like wake up in the morning and we have like this round table in the kitchen, and we always sit there. And my brother like he likes to make like we have like an espresso machine at home. But I'm back in Cleveland. And he likes to make it like it's all like four of us, like my parents and my older brother. to like see that we have like those biscuits, like some kind of biscuits that my parents buy from Costco. It's like it's what we do every single day. We always sit together to like drink an espresso. I feel like that's when I drink the most coffee. Like when I'm back home, even though like, I'm not doing anything, to like resting and sleeping all day. That's when I drink coffee. But like here in college, usually like some days like when I'm doing a lot of things like studying and I don't get a lot of sleep, then that's when I get coffee, but not like every day. So
And you guys remember that 8 a.m. that I told you about?
yeah.
That was the reason why I started drinking coffee. Um, because I used to make fun of my parents. You guys need coffee to wake up. You guys get headaches if you don't drink coffee. And they're like, you'll know. I was like, I
Yeah,
guess let's see. So that 8 a.m. class would hit, and I would be so sleepy in the library.
Yeah.
And we had a coffee shop inside the library, so I would just go and get an espresso, triple espresso shot, and just drink
triple
it
just
just to wake up.
mhm.
But yeah, that's how it started. Studying in
You
the
s-
library, getting coffee.
yeah, so you
Now I'm
still drink
addicted.
it every day? You still drink coffee every
Yeah,
day?
yeah, I can't do it. I can't do in the morning
Okay.
without coffee. I'll crash in the
Yeah.
middle.
American coffee or espresso?
No, espresso. We have an
Espresso?
espresso machine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, so you have founded Shoqata SAPS recently. Can you tell us a little bit about SAPS and the inspiration for it and just kind of future plans of Shoqata SAPS?
Yeah, of course. So we started in September of 2023. Um, and the whole, so my inspiration, like founding the organization, was that I saw a lot of Albanians. Like I followed a lot of them on LinkedIn and Instagram. I was looking at all of like these different Albanian clubs everywhere around the United States. For example, like almost every college in the East Coast at least has an Albanian club, and I saw that they were very small and weren't doing a lot to like help the community. For example, like Harvard has an Albanian club, Columbia has one, just like almost every college, and just like having 5 or 6 members in all like in every of these clubs, you don't really get to impact the Albanian community much. And I thought it would be amazing that if we form this club, we can get like all the students together under one umbrella organization, so like trying to help each other in terms of like academics and professional life. So that was the inspiration of the organization. And since then, since September, we have grown to over 100 members in our organization. And so far we've had 2 official events. So one of them was for the Kosovo Independence Day, where it was in DC, where we had the Kosovo ambassador Ilir Dugovic, right, just be present at our event, like give a talk to all the members. And then the second event was a partnership with ISA, which is a student organization in the UK, and they've been around for 3 years. So we're trying to like try to learn from them and trying to grow along with them to see how we can impact the Albanian community as much as we possibly can. So yeah, that's our mission. Like our mission is to help Albanian students like connect with one another and find the resources they need to succeed academically and professionally. And one of our goals in the near future is to expand our mentorship to high school students as well. And I feel like that's going to be one of our most important goals as an organization, try to help high school students back home, Albania and Kosovo, apply to colleges here in the United States or even colleges around the world as well. That try to give them a support where they can like meet Albanian students, try to get advice from them, and just go on and create like this network where we can help each other do better.
Yeah. Congrats on the 2 events and all the members you've gained this far. And I've been at your 2 events, so they were successful and I really enjoyed them. So only great things from Shoqata
Yeah.
SAPS. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you also for joining our organization.
Yeah.
And you've been doing very great work with us so far. So
Yeah.
thank you. And I also wanted so Ray, as you said, is the vice president of our organization.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask Ray if you wanted to share like why you joined and what's your purpose.
Absolutely. So all of us are pre-med students, and we're going to a career that is focused on giving back to people, helping people. I think it's one of the main pillars of medicine, the human connection, which is something that, in my opinion, no other career gives the satisfaction. So one of the reasons why I joined SAPS is because it's one of the ways that it can make me reach out to my community. SAPS can help me impact people's lives. And from my personal experience, I think that's something that was dearly missed. We 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 don't have a strong Albanian community in the States for one reason or the other. Like Aaron was saying, like we have like multiple mini organizations, but no one that connects all people. So when I first, funny stories, I never met Aaron before SAPS. Like we didn't go to school together. Like we didn't grow up together, but we just had a candid conversation, just like this one right here, and it resonated with me because um, I told Aaron that like I want to be involved with an organization that's more than a club, that is something that will be here for the long time, foreseeable future, and that can actually impact our community. And he agreed on on those principles, and I think that signifies SAPS. SAPS is my vision for it is not just a club where people can get resources, but a hub where people can have a strong community and where we could help one another succeed, not only academically, not only professionally, but also as friends. Like, because I think growing up, like Aaron was saying, like one of our main goals is to focus on high school. And sometimes you just need a word of encouragement, that little thing that pushes you or makes you, chase your dreams. Because I think that's another thing that it's missed. You don't know those little details. Like, for example, like all of us are in medical school. I didn't know all of us plan on going to medical school, but I didn't know that you could do like a bachelor's and then straight to medical school program. Like I wish those tiny little details I feel like will help our community. Um, so that's why I joined SAPS, and we've done a great job connecting people, which I think is one of the most important parts. So yeah, that was why I joined SAPS, and I think the future is bright. We have people who are like-minded and are willing to work to achieve this dream of ours. So yeah.
Um, so both of you seem like very ambitious individuals, and I know you're going to achieve great things. So can you just kind of share with us who your biggest inspirations are? Do you have anyone that sort of inspired you along the way, or yeah, kind of anyone?
I guess for me, I have a few people that I look up to. But I guess one of them that comes to my mind right now is Dr. Tocaj Rei.
Mhm.
He's an MD PhD, and he is the vice chair of radiation oncology at the James Cancer Research at the Ohio State School of Medicine. And I think that I look up to him because of what he has achieved. So he also moved to the United States when he was, I think, the same age as us, like 13, 14 years old. And then back at the time, like when his family moved here, like they didn't have anything, they didn't have much money. And like his story, like how his family like overcame all those struggles. And now he went from a 13-year-old kid from Kosovo to becoming an MD PhD and a vice chair of the entire department is like very inspiring. So I feel like it's just like his stories, like I see myself in him. Like I just like he is exactly what I want to be in 30 years from now. Um, so whenever I have like questions or doubts about myself, he's always willing to like talk to me and give me advice. And he's on the same for my brother as well. He's one of those people where even though like he has this very high title, is down to earth. Like he's very kind, very generous, always willing to help, and that's what I value most in him. But that's probably my biggest inspiration so far.
Awesome.
I'll give the cliche Albanian answer. I would say my
Wait, what
parents
did you
and
say? The cliche Albanian answer?
yeah, like when we ask Albanians what's your biggest inspiration, they're gonna say their parents. So I'll just
Yeah.
give the cliche Albanian answer. Not really, but
Mhm.
on a serious note, I think that uh I owe a lot of my success right now to my family, and more specifically both my parents, my mom and dad, as well as my sister.
Yeah.
Because my story was a little unique. That my dad was a physician back home. He practiced for almost 20 years. My mom was a school teacher for 20 years. She also was a principal. But they left everything to move here, had to change their careers completely, worked like random jobs. So I think my biggest inspiration would be my family because um, I always ask like my dad like why did you do that, and he always tells me like when you have kids you'll understand. So I think it's something that I guess I can't feel right now what parents feel for their kids, but if I was to say what's my biggest inspiration, it would be my mom, my dad, and my sister
Yeah.
because they're the reason why I do everything essentially.
How do you how do you guys balance the demands of your professional and personal life?
How do I balance it? Okay,
Yeah. Do you have
that's
like
a good question.
a mindset? Is it just like a mindset thing? Is it someone who and it always keeps like pushing you and just reminding you of like what's important? Is it just like just your dedication to
Yeah,
something? Is it I don't know.
I
Can't think
think
of
it's
that.
at the end of the day, it's a lot of factors that all play together.
Mm-hmm.
But when I answered the previous question about the inspiration, like so I answered in terms of the career, like the career side of what I want to do in life. But in terms of that, like keeping me in check and making sure that I do everything right, I think that's where my parents come in. It seems like they always have the right answer. Like even if they haven't gone through the exact thing that I'm doing right now, they always have the right answer. Like yeah, at the moment, like you're like, how do you know about this? Like how would you know what's best for me right now? And at the end of the day, they're always right. So I guess like it's both my parent, but my mom and my dad. They're always sort of because I'm very close to my family. I tend to like share everything with them, so they know about like school, my personal life, the struggles that I go through, and every like doubts that I have, fears, like everything I want to share with them. They're always there to like listen and give advice, like help me move along. And so they're always there for me, which means a lot to me, and that's why I love them so much. But and also my brothers. So my older brother, he applied to medical school this cycle, so he got accepted. So he's also like someone I look up to
Congrats.
because like thank you. So like he's doing I'm just like following on his footsteps. Like he's doing everything that I'm gonna do in like 2 years from now because he's 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I have him as like just like guiding me forward. Like every question I have, I'm like I have someone to ask, someone willing to
Yeah.
help me along the way. So I guess like those are the people that help me with my personal and career struggles.
Yeah, along the same notes, like how do you compartmentalize your social versus your professional life? I think that again, like going back to our career path, I feel like medicine is one of those professions where you have to like because just of the nature of the profession and that we are pursuing, like it's so delayed the gratification that you have to always keep in mind that like sometimes I would like be in the library, it's like 11:30 p.m. or I'm in the lab doing like gels and I'm like running like gel electrophoresis and I'm like, why am I doing that? Because sometimes you get lost in the sauce and you don't realize that, hey, there's a bigger goal here. You're working towards something. So I think it's a great question, Lorena, because to our listeners as well, I hope that like everyone who's going through the same things reflects and I just want them to know that, like they're doing great, like don't give up. Like everything you're doing is for a reason. Just keep the main thing and keep moving forward. Never give up. It's one of my mantras because I really believe that um, you will always achieve your goals, especially in this country, which I think is one of the reasons why my parents moved is because this country guarantees that if you're willing to work hard, you will achieve things. So how I compartmentalize the difference between social or personal versus career
Yeah.
is that I try to instead of like separating them, kind of merging them together and knowing that everything that I'm doing is for a goal.
Mm.
So that's how I would answer that question. But yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah. That brings us to the last question that I always like to ask. What is the biggest piece of advice you received, which you kind of like talked about, Ray? No, there's another one. Okay.
You said the biggest piece of
Piece of
advice that I
advice
ever
you
received.
received, or like you just like to share with everyone?
I'm gonna start with the advice I want to give to others, and then I'll share what advice I've received. I guess I just want to build up on what Ray said about like just keep like pursuing your goals. I feel like I just want to send like a message to all like the pre-meds out there, like the people who want to pursue medicine. As Ray said, like it's not as glamorous in the beginning as it seems. Like the beginning of the 4 years of bachelor's, you're like, why am I doing this? You take like organic chemistry, you see no point like or doing like start organic chemistry and doing medicine. Like why do I have to memorize all these reactions? And then like a year later, you're studying biochemistry, and you're like, oh, that's why I learned this. Like I understand this. I feel like as Ray said, like everything has like a higher goal, a higher purpose. So everything you do, I shouldn't get discouraged in the moment when you like you're doing like you're going through the years or through the classes. Um, I guess like one advice I want to give is to don't give up. Like always keep going. There's always like a brighter side in the next days, the next months, the next years. Like things will always be better. Um, and then the biggest piece of advice that I have received in my life is from one of my close family friends. He has always told me like always reach for the stars. Never like don't reach for the moon, you know, to reach for the stars. And if you don't reach the stars, you're probably gonna reach the moon, but you'll still get way further ahead than if you had reached for the moon only. I feel like that's very important. Like setting a very high, I mean, not setting like unrealistic goals, but like still having the dreams and high expectations of yourself. So it makes you keep going every single day. Like it makes you do your best and give your best in everything you do. So that's the advice I wanted to share.
No, I love that.
Yeah, and I wanted to two little anecdotes, one more professionally, and then one that kind of relates to my day-to-day life. The first one is that when it comes to us pre-meds, we kind of I know you guys like when we shadow, we always try to like get those brownie points or like stay things just to stay things. And we've had all those gunners. Like gunners is the term for anyone who doesn't know who's listening is like, what is he talking about? Like it's a term we use in pre-med community, like the freshmen who are always talking, we can call them gunners, quote unquote. Uh, but one of the advice that one of the physicians that I work under told me was that you want to be competent but not confident. Um, so I think that that's really like a good advice when it comes to your professional career. You want to make sure that you know what you're doing and don't be overly confident because that's something that will not help you on your professional career. You'll always like make enemies. And another thing is that medicine is a profession that revolves around compassion. I think that's like one of the biggest themes. And I try to implement that with all the aspects of my life. Compassion is a thing that will always help you. I think that was one of the reasons why I joined Aaron's mission by joining SAPS, because I could see that he is a very compassionate individual who wants to help the community. So I think being compassionate is something that always will help you in life. It will never do bad if you're compassionate. And especially for our career that we're pursuing, being competent and not confident and being compassionate is something that we all should strive to be.
Okay, so now we've almost reached the end, and it's time for a series of rapid fire questions where I ask you 10 questions and you're supposed to answer with whatever answer comes up at the top of your head, okay?
Okay.
Are you guys ready? Are you
Born
guys
Yes.
ready?
Born ready, let's
Yes.
go.
Okay. Albania or US?
US. That's not a good answer.
To live and work, to live and work
Yeah,
US,
Albania or
as-
US, Ray?
to work US, to live Albania,
Oh, you gotta pick one.
US.
Okay. Baklava or kadayif?
Baklava, easy.
Baklava.
Favorite
Kadayif
beverage?
should be Kadayif should be banned, banished from existence.
No, I do not agree on that. Baklava is always the best.
Baklava is the best. Kadayif should be
agree.
banned from existence.
Favorite beverage?
Soft beverage or alcoholic?
This beverage. Fanta, EV, Pepsi, Cola.
Fanta Exotica. Fanta Exotica.
Yeah, Fanta Exotica. I would agree on that.
Something
Fanta
you can't
Exotica.
live without.
My phone. I know it's generic.
My
No.
guitar, probably. My guitar.
Northern or Southern Albanian music?
Southern.
I grew up
Easy.
Southern, and all the weddings, because weddings are a big thing in Albania for anyone who doesn't know. Like weddings are big. So all the weddings that I went growing up were in the South. So I don't really know too much about Northern music, but I like for example, Valja Kukse, it's a really well known. I like Northern music, but I would say Southern music because that's what I grew up with.
Okay. Favorite Albanian dish? Come on, guys.
That's a hard question, though. You can't make us pick one.
Favorite
Of
Albanian
course.
dish?
Of
What comes
course.
out at the top of your head? What dish are you thinking of right now?
Of course.
It's not. I want to say it's a dish, but probably break me spinach. It's my favorite Albanian traditional food.
Yeah. Favorite moment this week? No favorite moments this week? Or too many favorite moments this week?
Too many.
Too many. That's a problem. I guess like my favorite moment was that on the guitar again. I learned Hotel California like a few years back, and I played it again after a year and a half, and I remember like I still had the muscle memory, and it took me like 5 minutes to get back at the speed of the song, which was a very, very happy moment, and it was very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
For me, would be when I learned the news that the paper that I was working for this past couple months got published finally.
Oh,
So
congratulations!
when I got the
Congratulations.
email, I was like, "Oh my God, thanks."
Is it all like is it like published, fully published?
Yeah, it's sent out but it's gonna go through the whole peer review thing. So,
peer review thing.
it's
Okay, so
when,
it's not.
yeah.
I was gonna say link
No.
down below.
Yeah.
Leave to the
Now,
paper.
hopefully in the next 2 months, I'm hoping. So we'll see.
Oh, awesome.
Hopefully, that's big. Congratulations.
Yeah. Beach or mountains?
Beach. Yes.
Yeah. What about you,
Beach,
Rick?
yeah. Beach.
Yeah.
Raki or beer?
Oh, beer. I can't stand raki. I can't drink raki.
Are you serious?
I feel like I'm disappointing my whole family because like my grandpa from my dad's side used to make a raki because he's from Colorado, which is a rural like close to Vlorë. I used to make his own raki, but I've never liked it, and it's too strong. It's like you drink like pure alcohol, just like enjoying.
I don't drink alcohol, but I would have to say beer.
Beer.
Yeah, beer.
Favorite Kong Popolora?
I'm bad with this. I don't know the name.
I don't know the name.
I don't know the
You can start singing.
I know like I know I'm not gonna start singing it here.
Hold on, I'll find it.
Name. Valja even though I said I like
it's Ne Tren për Prizren.
Oh my gosh, we still listen to that all the time.
I'm gonna just comment. Thank you first of all for the invite, and I wanted to congratulate you on the job you're doing thus far with the podcast. And I think it's a really honorable a goal that you have to shine light to those stories that we haven't heard, because I always you guys have seen the movie Taken. when he's like, "Oh, Albanian," like
Oh my
we have
God.
this.
Such a bad representation.
Yeah, we have a bad. There's a bad connotation that goes
Yeah.
now that with the word Albanian,
Yeah.
especially in the UK, which is a
Oh
little
yeah,
worse than
UK.
here. But I
Yeah.
think that we have people who are really bright. Like we have Nobel prize winners. We have
Yeah.
people who have been in art, music, history. So I think it's really important to let our listeners know, but everyone who hears about Albania, let them know that we're more than like what we've been represented as. Because I feel like we're a country that has been on the wrong side of the history, but not for our like not because we decided to. It's just that's how the cookie crumbled.
Yeah.
But we are a culture, and we have people who are really successful and really hardworking. And like to share a quick story, I met with through SAPS with one other Albanian student. His name is Andy, and he moved here to study. And he would say that when he was in his classrooms, the professor was from Uzbekistan, and they had a few students there, a couple from Albania, a couple from Greece, Croatia, and other countries. So the professor would say that, how come Andy, like all the students that are from Albania are doing the best in class? Like, what do you guys drink over there? Like, what do they put in your water? So I think there's something that like Albanians are really hardworking. Like our culture is really hardworking. So um, it's a great thing that your podcast to share those stories.
Yeah, I do agree with Ray. I feel like seeing all these Albanians do such amazing things. I feel like everywhere you look, like in every organization, in every hospital, in every school, you're gonna find at least one Albanian in that place who's doing something amazing. I feel like I know why our reputation is not to the level that we want it to be, but I feel like we should keep pursuing our missions. You as the EaglePod host and us with subs, like keep shining light on these stories, on these amazing people who are doing all this hard work and they're trying to change their lives and also their families future. So I feel like it's very important for us to highlight these stories so everyone can keep like learning and get advice and see what we're all doing so they can get some inspiration and some encouragement as well to keep going, to keep pursuing. Because I feel like if we can do it and everyone else could do it as well. It's not that we are special. We're all from one country, from one blood. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's very important.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you guys. I'm so happy to have both of you on the pod to just share your journeys and your vision for the future of SAPS and some great advice for our viewers. So thank you, Aron and Ray. And I enjoyed talking to you both. And I'd like to remind our viewers and listeners to subscribe, like, and comment below. Your support means so much to me. And thank you for tuning in. And comment below who you think will be on the pod next episode. And also, as Ray said, what was the question, Ray?
What does it mean to be Albanian?
What does
To
it
you?
mean to be Albanian? That is, comment that down below. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah, Lorena, thank you for having us. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome.